know, the English Premier League is going to be starting soon. Over this weekend, we have a Community Shield, but in this session, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to in this new season, as well as some FPL picks. How you guys doing?
Yo, what's up?
Hey man, I'm good. How are you?
Nah, all good, all good. Are
Nothing
you guys not excited? Oh, nice.
That trash team. I'm
Are you
hyped,
guys not
dude.
excited? Are you guys not
I'm
excited
so
for the new
happy.
season?
Yeah.
I'm so happy. You know that video. God is there.
Yo,
God is there. Yeah, it's been long, dude. Yeah, like I've been enjoying some of the Women's World Cup games, Banyana Banyana in particular. You know, shout out to the ladies.
yeah,
But there's nothing quite like the Premier League, so I'm looking forward to next weekend for sure.
yeah. Same here. I don't know what I've been doing with my weekends. They've never been the same. Like I kind of had to find new hobbies to do and uh show my girl is happy. She's had my full attention this weekend. So I'm not sure for next weekend. Ish, does not make sure, eh? No, but yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait, but bated breath.
Okay. As you know, Community Shield is coming up. I think let's do something different, right? I think for Tebo, I want Tebo to be the one because I think you're the most unbiased person for this upcoming game. According to you, what's your first 11 for Man City?
Oh, by the way, here we go. Guardiola still confirmed. So yeah,
Mm,
Pep got his guy.
nice.
I'm annoyed by that transfer, hey, to be honest, because there are teams that need defenders. Like he is the last team that needs another defender.
Dude,
And then you're gonna
great.
spend 100 million. I don't know if it's greed or maybe we just don't share the same ambition. Maybe Pep just wants to win the quadruple now. Now he's going for the quadruple.
He's relentless, dude.
It's relentless. But to be fair, guys, I think John Stones is probably no longer a defender anymore. He's probably shifting to the midfield. And Ruben Diaz has been unreliable for the past 2 seasons. He's had his injury problems. So he's basically had to rely on Akanji.
Ake, Akanji,
Akanji.
Laporte. Let's not act like these guys are struggling in that position, bro.
No, I'm saying it's a abundance of options, but
Mm.
let's be honest, the consistency in that back four has been very like shade. Like last season, who can we say was their center back? Like only Akanji, to be fair. He played
Ake,
most, but Anke played also most of his games on left back because of Cancelo as well. So I think there is a space, but Laporte will go definitely because he's been a bit unreliable in the past. But I think basically for centre back leadership there, for strength, he's not a need, it's a luxury, but I can see why he went for that guy. Because Stones is going to the midfield, so Akanji is gonna be probably the centre back pairing with Guardiola. I think Diaz will always be thereabout, but yeah, it should be interesting. It seems like he's prioritizing having more centre backs than wing backs now, which
Yeah,
is
remember, he's changing the strategy. He doesn't want to wing backs anymore. His center backs will play that role, left back and right back.
guys. Guardiola is so dominant. This guy can afford to experiment now. He's like, I've won playing false nine. Okay, I'm done with false nine. I've won playing uh recognized old school number nine. Okay, I'm done with that. I've won with high fullbacks. Okay, I'm done. I'm bored with that. Now I want to have center back. Like this guy is just experimenting in the so-called toughest league in the world. Like he's actually disrespecting us. If I'm
He
keeping it
is.
100.
And don't forget, he also experimented with inverted fullbacks
My
in
nigga.
inverted wingers. He's done it
dude,
all, bro.
dude, one day this guy's gonna play without a goalkeeper. You guys
No,
will
it's
see.
going there.
He's
It's
gonna turn
going
apparently
the
there.
yeah.
apparently wanted to try putting Neuer as an outfield player as an experiment.
This guy is
So,
disrespecting us. I'm telling you.
No, even the news Edison was saying that this guy wanted him to play CDM.
Listen to this.
So you see where we are going with this.
Yeah, it needs to be stopped, bro. Like, there's no ways.
Look,
no, but
he's an amazing coach. I'll give him
Facts.
that, right? I
Facts.
can't even deny that.
Facts.
Especially that he won the Champions League finally, because people had that big question mark that you've been spending so much money, blah, blah, blah. He won the Champions League. So kudos to him. He can afford to experiment. But you know what I hate? What I hate is that he's out outperforming people in transfers. And when I say outperforming, he's doing the Bayern thing or the Sundowns thing that Sundowns does in the PSL. Every good player from other teams he buys.
Simple.
Even though he doesn't need those players, he just buys. And for me, I don't know if that's anti-competitiveness or not. I don't know. But yeah.
But it's, you see, I used to think so, but now I'm like, look, it's not like he's got resources that the other big teams don't have. You know what I mean? Like, I think at the end of the day, because the thing used to be money, 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 right? But Chelsea have got money, Man United have got money, Man United have been having money. Now the Saudi equation is there as well. If we had that discussion in the previous video, if you guys haven't watched that, check it out. Uh, so like we can't, and I'm not saying this is what you are saying. I'm just saying we can't keep complaining about the money is doing everything. Like I think at the end of the day, the biggest pull is the manager himself, right? So it doesn't matter. I'm not obviously there's a minimum amount of wages that these guys would like, but at the end of the day, it's all about Guardiola. Like there's no other uh, reason for Man City's dominance and success besides the manager. So like the other guys just have to get better. Arsenal at least is competing financially now. We went toe to toe with Man City for Declan Rice. We won. I never thought I'd ever see the day we do that. We went toe to toe with Bayern for players. We've won twice, with Havertz and with Device as well. So like
And Timber.
and Timber went, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, resources are there now for the rest of us. Like what can you do with it now? Now it's like a manager versus manager thing. Like there's no way to hide anymore, So uh it's kind of exciting. If you're neutral, as an Arsenal fan, you feel more pressure because, last year, even though we didn't win, we could still have the excuse like, young team, we're competing against Haaland, and we were competing against the best team clearly in Europe, and possibly in the world. So there's no shame in coming second to a team like that. But now we're like, okay, on top of a good team we had, we've gotten better players to improve our squad. So now for Arteta, there's no excuses now. Maybe the only weakness we have is up front with Gabriel Jesus getting an injury now before the start of the season. But yeah, there's no excuses anymore now.
Yeah,
yeah,
just to add on, right? Ndoba, I like the fact that you said that. There's no way, I mean, there's no place that Ateta and Edu can hide now. They've spent the money, and there's possibly a possibility that they'll bring in two more additions in David Raya and Mohammed, what's his name? Kudu from Ajax, right? And that reinforces the ambition that we need to challenge Man City. Because right now, we are not challenging anyone else. Even as Man United, even as Liverpool, the aim is not to challenge each other. The aim is to challenge Man City because they've set the benchmark. And let's not forget, Man City are weak up front. Let's not forget that. But they lost Mahrez, and people pretend like that's not a major loss. Let's not pretend like Mahrez is not a major loss. They've lost Gundogan. Let's not pretend that's not a major loss because Gundogan, we know him. Last 3 months of the season, he is the guy that takes them over the line in every competition. So they've lost that element, and they possibly might be losing David Silva. We
Bernardo.
all know. I mean, Bernardo Silva.
Mm.
We all know that Pep usually has a plan. But in this case, I think he might be in a corner. Yes, he got his defender. But now I'm hearing he's linked to a Jeremy Doku. to replace Mahrez. Those are two different players. And when I say two different players, I mean from a perspective of experience and being clinical. Doku has only scored 14 goals his entire season, bro. I mean, his entire career. You can't compare that player to Mahrez. But also, it's also a test of character for me because he's a young player. I actually want to see what Pep can do with a player that's subpar, according to Man City standards, and if he can elevate him. I just want to see that part. I think I've seen it at Barcelona, he's done it. I've seen it at Bayern, he's done it. But I've never really seen it at Man City because he had that type of player in Ferran Torres and he shipped him up. He had that type of player with Sane and he shipped him up. We know because of discipline, etc. But I would have loved to see how they would have developed or turned over, right? Haaland, I don't even count him as a youngster. He's a machine. He came as a machine, nothing changed there. He just got better, right? So for me, I want to see what he's going to do replacing those three players because I know, yes, he brought in Kovacic, but we all know Kovacic is no Gundogan. So that's going to be interesting. Another second point, as you mentioned, yes, Gabriel Jesus is injured, but we still have Ngetia, which I don't like. We have Balugan, who's not sold yet. So I want to see how that's going to play out. But I'm also hearing rumors that Smith playing false nine. I'm rumors that Trossard might be false nine. So another
Havertz
interesting
too.
thing. Oh my God, how can I forget Havertz? Me, I'm thinking Havertz a midfielder now. Fine. That's no, I'm saying the Gabriel Jesus thing, no excuse. We have players to fill that position. Going to Man United, they got the players they needed. Eric Tanner has been complaining about those positions. He got the players. He's got this young kid. People are already putting pressure on him because of the price tag, already comparing him with Haaland, which is so unfair. But he's got a striker. He spent the money. So even as Man United, they have no excuses. Liverpool, we all know what they needed. They got the midfielders. I don't want to hear excuses, bro. Darwin Nunes, this is your second season. I don't want to hear excuses. Chelsea, they've got the manager, they've got the players, they sold players. I don't want to hear excuses, bro. This season, if Man City win this season, it's very clear that the manager is way superior than any other manager. It's as simple
Facts.
as that.
Facts.
Yeah. But to be fair, guys, he still has the most developed team strategy out of anyone, right? With the players and the personnel. Like he's built this system with very few disruptions. Like to your point, Gamza, this is a test because kind of like the players that have been critical and like you argue De Bruyne, Gundogan, those guys have been so critical to what he's trying to build. The likes of Kyle Walker, the nucleus, your Edison, your nucleus are still there. You still have that base. But now we're starting to see guys like Gundogan have left, Mahrez has left as well. So it seems like there's a bit of like an unsettling, to the base that he has always, had. Because he also lost who's this guy? Fernandinho, a season ago. But now like Rodri has grown into his role, sort of taken the Gundogan, I mean the Fernandinho role as well. So I guess it's based on system, right? You see the likes of Grealish now playing into his system. Haaland, even if he had an amazing season, I don't think he is fully assimilated into Pep's season. I think now this season is where he's assimilating into Pep's type of system, So for me, I still think he has an edge over like most of the would-be top four. You look at Liverpool. Liverpool have lost like Mane, for example, right? There's no standby or replacement that's waiting for Mane in the wings that has been integrated, right? They've lost Firmino now. Salah, we saw this season, he wasn't his best season. It seems like it's coming towards the tail end of his prime. And then you have Gakpo and Nunes also, their start last season. I would argue that Gakpo had a better start to his life, even if he came in January, than a Nunes, you know. So, and now Klopp has lost a leader in Henderson, and he's losing Fabinho. He's having to rebuild the midfield. Who's familiar in that midfield? He's lost even Milner. So now he's building like a brand new midfield. You can't rely on Thiago. You can't rely on like Harvey Elliott. You know, you've got McAllister coming in there, at Szoboszlai from Leipzig also coming in there. That defense as well. You've seen Van Dijk also, you know, going towards his wane as well last season. I'm not sure if it's injuries or whatever. So I would argue that Man City still have a big edge, and it wouldn't be, I would say, like to your point, like it's the manager, but I would say like they're still the team to beat. I mean, Mateta has better players this season. He overachieved last season, you know, with the youngsters, and I guess the pressure of this season is also not gonna do him well because he's definitely got better players. But remember now, you kind of have to integrate Rice into the system. Timber, you also need to see that, okay, does Timber come in for a white, or does it come in for, you know, would you put Timber over Saliba, over Gabriel? I don't think so. So it seems like there's still a bit of like integration that he still needs to do, you know, with these three signings. So for me, I think Pep is still better prepared than most of these managers. You know, even with Man United, as you're mentioning, like even if you bought Mount, I don't see Mount still needs to integrate into Man United as well. You know, so there's still, I guess, like from all these teams, I think they are still like a season or two behind, you know, Man City. And I would still back Man City to, you know, to still win the league easily now. I think the Man City that we saw towards the end, easily. The Man City we saw towards the end of the season, that's the Man City that we're gonna deal with. The one that finished with the treble. That's the one that's, you know, gonna hit the ground running. So I'm still convinced that they're gonna win it.
Look, I hear you, right? I don't agree with certain parts, which I'll get to, but I agree with the fact that they are the most stable-ish team in comparison to the rest. That part I'll agree with you, right? The part that I don't agree with you is the second part where you're saying, yeah, the other teams are still figuring out things, how to integrate the new players. The reason why I don't agree with that, most of the teams that we're talking about managed to purchase those players much earlier. It's not late in the transfer season. Those players have had preseason, that played in preseason games, that met the team. The managers definitely have ideas of how to use it. You mentioned the fact that, are we going to play Tim on the right back or center back? Well, guess what? Arteta deployed him on the left back. So you see, there's ideas that are already floating and formulating. But also, you're forgetting one fact that the nucleus of Man City is aging. Kyle Walker is old, guys. Let's not
KDB.
pretend like Kyle Walker is young, and he might even go to Bayern Munich. There might be a swap deal between Bayern and Man City for Pavard. And we all know Pavard is not as good as Kyle Walker. But even if Kyle Walker is good, he's aging. What's his name? Kevin De Bruyne is not young. He's aging. I'm not saying he won't be an amazing player. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying age does play a factor into all of this. We still don't have a replacement for Mahrez. Bernardo Silva might be leaving. Gundogan has left. That Man City you saw at the end was, like I said, it was driven by Gundogan. We know what Gundogan does at the end of the season. That purple patch always happens every season. So who's going to take that responsibility now? I don't know. Kovacic is not that type of player.
Odin is there. You know? Odin, so the thing, I think with Man City, for me, it's like each and every one of those players, you know, they can play two positions. Right? You can bring Grealish into Gundogan's role. You can bring Foden
No,
into
I don't
Gundogan's
agree.
role.
I don't agree with
I
that.
feel like they can play more than one position. most of the
Yes,
time.
but look, maybe you just made a bad example there, but I agree with you. Yes, they can play multiple positions, and that also, I guess, harkens back to the Arsenal thing because I think that's pretty much Arteta's philosophy, if I can use that word. He buys players that can play in multiple positions. Like Havertz can play in at least three positions. Timber can play in at least three positions. And I think to your points earlier around having a stable side, I think a lot of these teams, Arsenal and Man United in particular, now the emphasis was more around building a squad than it was, improving the first team. I'm not saying they haven't improved the first team. I mean, Declan Rice is a first team player. Mount will probably be a first team player for you guys, but the emphasis was more around just having depth, obviously with the competitions we'll be playing in with the Champions League in particular. So the emphasis is around that. I don't think, yes, we are behind Man City once again, only in my opinion, only because of the quality of their manager and the quality of their players, yes, but mainly because of the quality of their managers. So the other teams just have to figure out how to beat Man City. And look, I think it'll be tougher for Haaland as well this season, in as much as you say he's going to assimilate better with the team, blah, blah, blah. But now the Premier League defenders and the coaches will be more familiar with his game as well. So they'll find better ways of dealing with him. They may not stop him completely, but they may reduce the amount of goals that he scores, kind of thing. So every argument kind of has like an opposite to it, like a flip side as well, So it's kind of like a perspective, glass half full, glass half empty kind of thing. So yeah, I agree. City are still the favorites, 100%.
Mhm.
Will it be easy? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Just
Uh,
to
mm,
just to take circle back, right? How many points did City win the Premier League last season with
eight,
compared to 8 points?
eight,
Five,
89.
Five,
Oh yeah. Mm.
5 points.
5 points. Looking at that, right? I don't think we're gonna see City. If City win, they're the favorites to win. But I'm saying if City win, it's gonna be as close as that again. I don't see a 10-point gap or 15-point gap. I don't see it this season.
Yeah, yeah. The thing for my side, if I had to maybe track back a bit, the team that I think are better equipped to challenge City are Arsenal, right? I believe with what happened towards the end of the season, it was a question of depth, right? You guys just did not have an opportunity to swap out Saka and Martinelli, for example, both of them. But now the other thing is that there's more competitions with the Champions League. I don't know how that like acts out because City have proved that they can deal with like more than two competitions and be full steam ahead, right? They just have that experience, and Arsenal are coming back into Champions League. Like it's yeah, for me it just adds more to my cadence that like City are more better equipped because they're familiar with this amount of competition. Although to your point, losing like the likes of like Gundogan could be like you don't know how Kovacic takes over. Kovacic, I think, is a Pep type of player to the point that Pep seems to work best with agreeable players, like guys that just listen to instructions. And Kovacic is that type. And if you notice, like all the teams that guy has been in, he's been like that player that like, bro, you here to do the job. Like, no fancy things. You're not a star. Like, you just have a job to do. My job, or you just become a CDM or center middle fielder. You support. I feel he can be that player for Pep, but I guess he's missing in Gundogan's inventiveness. Gundogan is that like inventiveness, running into the box like unattended, like just those surprise, elements. So that's where maybe the likes of like Foden comes into play. Maybe Foden becomes that player for him as well. But yeah, I would tend to agree with you. It's maybe not that easy for them. They'll be challenged, of course, but yeah, I just guess they are better equipped with number of competitions, know-how, but we've always said their cheat code is Pep at the end of the day.
Thanks.
I'm actually like looking forward to seeing how Kovacic is deployed. Hey, I think that guy might be their secret weapon because we all like focused on other expensive signings, And you mentioned something. Kovacic always gives you 7 out of 10 minimum. He never has a bad game, that guy. In
Yep.
any team he's played in, he gives you a 7 out of 10. He's a solid performer.
Mm.
And considering he's under Pep, guys, and we all know what Pep does to players, I'm very interested what's going to happen to him. I think something special is going to come out today.
I'm so interested in
That's a
seeing.
great signing. That's a great
I'm
signing.
so interested. Like, if they had to say there's my player that's a picture of consistency, but Kovacic anything.
Mm.
You just know what like you say, you know what you're getting out of him. 7 out of 10. Like, he'll just make sure that he gives it for the team.
Do you think this is the season where Calvin Phillips comes into the fold?
Not for me. Not for me.
Nah. Like, how do you unseat Rodri? I mean,
I even forgot he was there. Like, as you were asking that question, I was like, Kelvin, who? And then, oh, that guy. I forgot City even have that guy, dude. Like,
Look,
there
he
was
does
no
well
signs of him,
on the double.
because like Pep signings always second season. That's when they like blossom, whatever. But you can only see it towards the end of the first season. Like, okay, I can see with more time. Calvin Phillips, honestly, I can't remember one game he's played for Man City where I was like, yeah, he's a City player. Like, there's no sign for me at all, at all.
I'm not sure he's even a Pep player. Like, I'm
He's a
sure he's one of
quota. He's a quota player.
one of those players that maybe they like convinced Pep and then Pep are like,
English
okay,
quota, I'm telling you.
just to have English players like that's like let's put him in there. I don't even think he's a Pep player.
Carling Cup,
It's
that's your that's your life.
it's interesting that you mentioned. I think one of the theories is definitely the English quota, but I have a slightly different theory. I think the reason why I put Kevin Phillips there is because of we all know, like it circles back to what I was saying. It's that anti-competitiveness that comes into play. If Calvin Phillips did not go to Man City, he was going to go to another top 6 team and he was going to do well. Now, guess what? We buy him and we waste him. Let him rot on that bench.
Yeah. Oh, just to circle back to your earlier question, I guess we just went on a side track because of Guardiola.
Yeah.
But my starting 11 for Man City, obviously Ederson in the post, and then I'll put Akanji, Ruben Diaz, and Ake, and then in the wing backs I'll put Cancelo. I'll put him back in Cancelo.
Cancelo. Do you think Cancelo will still be around?
He played preseason, so I don't. He may be integrating back.
Barcelona doesn't have money, though.
Yeah. Cancelo, then Walker, then midfield, I'll put obviously Rodri, and then I put Stones in there. Okay, and then that's leaving me with how many players? 3. Then Grealish, Haaland, and Foden.
And Kevin De Bruyne. Standard.
Oh yeah, and KDB.
Standard.
Me.
Yeah, you Arsenal.
Arsenal starting 11. Ramsdale. Even if Raya does come in, I think Ramsdale. Right back. People are forgetting about Ben White very quickly. I see there's a lot of excitement with Timber, and I understand Timber looks very good, but I don't like how quickly people are forgetting how good Ben White was for us last season. So I'd still keep Ben White there. On the left, Zinchenko, if he's fit. It has to be Saliba and Gabriel in the middle. Gabriel worries me. These mistakes, I thought they were out of his game, because last season he actually, Saliba got a lot of praise, but I think Gabriel across the entire season was probably our better center back. So yeah, I'd still keep Gabriel and Saliba there at center back. And then the midfield three, I like the look of Rice and Partey together, like on paper. And like I saw them a bit in the game we played against Monaco on Wednesday. They like their link up play looks very good. Obviously they're gonna need some time to like gel, but like I like the idea of playing both of them at the same time. So I'll have Rice and Partey there, and then Odegaard obviously. And the front three, this is where it gets tricky for me because Trossard deserves to play. Like, like Trossard deserves to play. So I have to put Trossard on the left. But Saka also always deserves to play. Saka's on the right. Martinelli also deserves to play. Martinelli deserves to play. So this is now in a scenario with Jesus being injured. So I'm not even going to consider. Obviously, when Jesus is fit, he's the guy in the middle. So I'll just put Martinelli in the middle there. But when Jesus comes back, I don't know who's going to bench there. But for now, for tomorrow, I'll play Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka.
Okay.
It's so funny that Havertz is not even a selection headache for you.
Me and Havertz like need to work things out. You guys know I've got an issue like with that guy. But because that Arsenal, I have to support him, of course, and I will. But he needs to earn my trust a bit. But yeah, Hazard, Havertz is not a starter for me for Arsenal. Not
Okay.
yet.
For me, can I make slight tweaks on Ndogo's first 11? Then I'll make slight tweaks on yours table, right?
Sure.
Even if I agree with the goalkeeper, even if what's his name, Raya comes through, I would not put him in for this weekend. But going forward, I am using Raya. Raya is the type of goalkeeper that makes you win shit.
Is that not harsh though? Sorry.
I'm
Just cut
sorry,
you
I
off.
have to be honest. Raya is a better goalkeeper. That's the truth.
True.
Hey, that's harsh for me. Like, I'm not saying you are wrong, eh? But like to me, it's the same thing as Ben. And I guess maybe this is what makes you a great manager, making like ruthless decisions and stuff. But yes, Ramsdale did make some key mistakes. But hey, that guy saved us quite a few games as well,
Not
So
denying it.
I know that's just like nature of life. People remember the bad stuff, but yeah, that one is a bit of a tough thing. Sorry, I just wanted to throw my two
Yeah.
cents in there.
For me, it's not tough, and I'll tell you why it's not tough. They are good goalkeepers, which is what Ramsdale is, and he's still developing. I'm not denying that. He has age on his side, and he's done well, considering all the odds. But they are great goalkeepers. And David Raya is in that mold of Allison. He just plays for Brentford right now, but he's amazing at Brentford. Imagine him having that cover of Gabriel and Saliba. It's going to be insane. He's going to be an insane goalkeeper, I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, Raya gives me like Buffon vibes. Like Buffon, it's sort of like Buffon and Casillas. Like, who would you rather have between Buffon and Casillas? I'd rather have Buffon because, like,
Yes.
I know Buffon. I'm not gonna get a mistake out of that guy. Like standard. Like, I just know what I'm gonna get with him. Ramsdale, shot stopper is great. Like when I know what like yo, he like pull some rabbit out of the hole. But he also has this error rate to him, right? Like he'll just concede like goals where you think that we should have saved that.
Yeah.
Raya, Raya is like you guys don't have stress. Like you just know when we're leading 1-0, so we now 1-0. Like we don't have to rely on Saliba Gabriel to like defend whatever. Like we know Utida, we just have someone that's gonna. But I don't think Ramsdale organizes the back for very well. I think he doesn't have leadership at the back. So Raya will give you that. So I'm with you, Kamsa. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
bro.
Not a
I
hard one.
always say, Debo, right? For me, it's a personal opinion. I'm not speaking on football facts. I prefer a goalkeeper when it's a corner, they catch the ball. I hate goalkeepers that punch balls in a corner. And Ramsdale punches a lot. And you never know where it ends up. And when you're playing a Man City and you punch that ball and there's a Rodri waiting there, he'll hit you with the long range. I hate goalkeepers that don't catch the ball. And Raya does not punch. He catches the ball.
Thank you. There's nothing better than when there's a corner kick, you know that your keeper is getting it. Like the only way those guys will score is if like you have like the pointer that like pings directly to an attacker. You just know my Puma, my keeper's going to claim it. No one's gonna beat him to it. There's nothing best than having a keeper like that, bro.
I need that peace of mind, bro. Even as defenders, if you are Saliba and Gabriel and you know your goalkeeper does that, you are happy.
Yeah, all you do is mark other defenders, bro. You don't mark second balls that are coming from a punched ball that's going in the air.
Yeah. Anyway, at left back, I don't think Zinchenko is going to be making it in Dogo. So, considering who we are playing Man City. Believe it or not, I am putting in Tomiyasu, bro. Tomiyasu knows how to defend, bro.
No,
If there's one
facts.
person who knows how to defend,
Facts.
I am putting in Tomiyasu. He will shut down whoever that's on the right wing.
Although he chowed us when we played City
I'm about to stay there.
at home, but I get why, because I remember against Liverpool last season when you played left back, he shut down Salah like no one's business. So I get you. I don't know if you would put him over Tierney though. Is that still your decision?
You guys, no, it's unfair what we are doing to Tierney. I think
Yeah,
let's
we're
play
doing
Tierney.
Tierney dirty. Yeah,
No,
we're doing
Tierney
dirty.
has to play that game. He's
Yeah,
a natural left back. Like, why are we using people right-footed on the left back? We have a left back.
A
Tierney has to
defensive
play.
one. A
Is
defensive
this
one.
inverted what one? Like left back is a defender, bro. Like
Dude, against small teams, this inverted thing is fine.
Yeah.
But against Man City, we need someone who can defend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tierney, actually. I'm going with Tierney. And I'm sticking with my Ben White. I don't care who says what. I am sticking with Ben White at right back. In my midfield, I hear what you're saying about Partey and Rice. Oh, I hear it, right? But honestly, because we're playing Man City, I'd rather have my midfield is going to be slightly different from yours. I'm going to have Partey and Rice on the bench. I'm not eating rice that day. Yes, I'm having rice on the bench for that game. I am not eating rice, bro.
But don't you think we need two defensively sound players?
Bro, I've figured out why we always lose against City, and I'm going to point it out. I am putting Partey, bro. Hey, bro, this
Partey and Jorginho.
Fuck Jorginho. Sorry, I'm not putting in Chelsea player. I am putting in Partey on that pivot. Believe it. I mean, there's no pivot, only Partey. And I'm playing Odegaard and I'm playing Trossard. I'm playing Trossard as an 8, bro. I'm not even laughing.
Interesting. Okay, let me hear you.
Trossard is in my midfield. And I am playing Martinelli up
No,
front.
wait. No, explain yourself with the. You
No,
can't
I'm
just
going to
say
get
names.
to it.
Oh,
I'm going to get to it. I saw, okay, maybe let me just get to it now. One of the preseason games, we had Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and what's his name? Saka playing up front. And Trossard was played in the midfield with Odegaard and Partey. And that damage he was doing from that midfield, I was like, nah. This guy gives us a different dynamic. It just depends where you put him because he's such a versatile player. And the reason why, and it was against that Barca game, the reason why he did that game was less of a defensive game, like a balance. He didn't want to balance things out. It was a more of, we're going to outscore you type of game. And it worked. And I'm saying when you play Man City, we must stop thinking defensive with Man City because they will beat you. They will beat you defensively. They have better defenders and they're better attackers. So what's your best weapon? You need to fucking outscore them. Like might as well they gave me play 11-10. Once.
Comes like in my idealistic way, I tend to agree with you. Like, but I know that with City, it's either if that approach you're gonna lose 6-0
You
or
can't
you're gonna
outscore
lose
City.
yeah, more. So
I hear what you're saying.
I tend to agree with you, but it get very dirty. Like that's what I wish my team would do against City, but they can't cope with attack. You see, the team that used to be able to do that to City was Liverpool. Because Vela, they just like will
Transition.
They would like, defense, they know they have Van Dijk there, they have, Robertson there, they will like, Trent, is not the best of defenders, but they'll have like that solidity there. They'll have the Fabinho and Henderson that can, be able to help at the back. But what you've just described there, I am not sure those guys can deal with.
Look,
you can't outscore City, bro.
Look, I hear you. I hear you guys. I hear you guys. I hear you guys. But it's a community shield game. How are you going to know? Like, this is the part where you have to find out if your attackers are that good. Like, if we lose 6-0, it's
my
fine.
Nigga, we've got
But now you know.
leading the line.
Sorry?
Nketiah's leading the line.
No,
because the thing, sorry, the thing with your strategy, I honestly, like Rankolego says, I hear what you're saying and it makes sense to a degree, right? But you must have a finisher there up front.
Yes. And that's why I'm not having Nketiah.
Okay.
I am not having Nketiah, bro. I am my up front, my front three is literally Martinelli, what's his name? Saka. And I'm playing Balugan, bro. I'm guns blazing. I am not even laughing because that I'm going to force Pep to change his game. And the whole idea to get this to work, we have to be the one that score first. Because you score first, now he realizes they bring in the game to us. He needs to do something about that. And then now, my man, I'm just playing counter. You know that old Liverpool? I'm playing that football, bro. Or I'm playing the Leeds football. It's either we win 10-0 or we lose 10-0. It's that type of game, bro.
But that's risky going into the season because it's got a psychological effect, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't think so? Or you think players are treating it like it's another preseason kind of thing?
How Arsenal treat community shield, let me tell you. We win the trophy. I mean, we win the game. It's a trophy. It's a major trophy. We lose the game. It's just a preseason game. That's how Arsenal views it. I don't know how Man City views it. I'm not going to say anything about that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, we'll never know because we've all realized that Leeds tried it. Remember, Leeds tried it a while ago and they beat Man City the first time. And then the second time, Pep was like, you know what? I'm going to do the exact same thing. And he beat them badly. Liverpool have been beating this guy the same way, but they lost the players to do it, right? And no one else has tried that strategy ever since. We all like sit at the back and we wait for a counter.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do. We've been doing all the teams against Man City.
Ten Hag tried it and he landed 6-3 later.
Yeah, he tried it 6-3 later. But I'm saying it's always a risk. If it worked, it was going to be 6-3 for favoring you guys.
Yeah, the thing is, City need time to build their attacks, right? So that's the only problem, right? Like, if you can win the ball, like, and allow them, unsettle them if you've won to a certain extent. They just not, mustn't allow them to string at least more than 10 passes together. Because that day, you've lost your shape. Just looking after the ball is just energy sapping, bro. So I get your point. If you are able to make sure they lose the ball quickly, they can't orchestrate their attacks, then now you also like making them defend. They don't like defending, right? That's why they have a keeper that plays from the back and all of that. Then
but to that point, sorry, like, and this is now just another scary thing about Pep. If you remember the game we played against City at the Emirates, we had more of the ball. which is like the first time I saw a Pep team have less ball possession.
Mm,
So
mm,
Pep also still has a game plan for not having the ball. So Pep, I guess, against the teams that are good possession-based teams, Pep is still okay with saying, okay, you guys can keep the ball, like, but you won't break us down as efficiently or as effectively as we can when we have the ball. So it's like, keep the ball, pass your 100 passes, but when we get it, we'll show you how you're meant to do it, kind of thing, you know? So, like, it's like I think like Pep has all the answers, is what I'm saying. But with that being said, I do think the only way to beat them is the thing you've described, but just transition football. As soon as you win it, you play quick and you just catch them off guard. So yeah, that front three on paper does make sense of Martinelli and Balogun. But yeah,
In
it's
reality, different
it's a
story.
it's a big risk.
That's why I miss the days of Scholes, guys. Scholes would pass you with one pass, and then say, you know, it's landing in a position for you to score. We don't have a lot of those players anymore that can ping it from inside their half. Ikhale, where you know when the striker gets it, it's like a throw
Two
for him.
touch, two touches.
Yeah. That's Pep wouldn't have survived with Scholes, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Facts.
Anyway, nonetheless, for Man City, I'm not changing anything. Even if I change anything, the quality is the same. Like, there's no difference.
And you guys didn't notice I put 12 players in.
No, we did. We did notice.
We did.
Strum said you must add KDB. We know.
Yeah.
Okay. So KDB. Okay, I'll leave Foden out and put KDB.
Okay, cool. Anyway, let's get to FPL, guys. As you know, a lot of people have been making their picks.
Are we gonna do it live? Let me
let's do
open
it live.
so I can see how much the players cost this season.
Yeah, let's do it live and build.
Okay.
Let's do it live and build.
So is each person building their team? Then
I've already built my team.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've already built my team. So
maybe come to start with your team while Togo is building his.
Should I share it on the screen?
Oh yes, we can most do that. Oh yeah, let me do it on yeah, but you can go ahead in the meantime.
Should I share it, right? To make
please.
it easy. Okay. Let's share it. Okay. So guys, can see? Great. Yeah. So I went with David Raya as my goalkeeper.
Okay.
How much is he? Is it possible that we can just compare prices while you do this so that we don't waste time with each of us sharing?
Cool. Let's just go to transfers. It's fine. Can go to transfers.
Just for comparison.
Yeah. Well, I still have 0.5 left, right?
Okay.
But looking at it, David Raya costs 5.
And the top keepers, yeah.
And then if I go to goalkeepers, the top keepers cost around 5.5. Yeah. So I chose David Raya and Leno. Leno's my backup, believe it or not.
Yeah, so side note, if maybe we can also just speak about what our tricks or tips normally are with FPL. So with me, normally when I pick a keeper on FPL, I always pick a mid-table keeper. You know, I always try to stay away from the top teams because they seldom get high scores because their teams normally dominate. So normally you want the mid-table teams that face a lot of shots, so to speak, because then they can get higher ratings. That's my top tip. I don't know if you guys have a different view. So I like the fact that you have Leno there. Leno is definitely a pick I would have gone for. Yeah, but I think Pope definitely. Newcastle have the best defense from last season, if I'm correct. So yeah, I would have gone at 5.5. But yeah, Pope is definitely gonna have a lot of clean sheets. But I think Ryan Leno are a good shot. I would have done the same.
Turbo?
Yeah, I'm of a different approach. I basically clean sheets mean the most for me. So So I used that as a metric, but it's a fair point there. I never thought about it with regards to mid table. I may use that a bit because I had a conundrum when it came to my midfield, right? And I was hesitant around changing my keepers, but now I think with that perspective, there's a couple of midfielders I was putting in there. So yeah, for me it's clean sheets, and yeah, Ederson for me, obviously with Man City's record, he's always in the top two when it comes to like clean sheets season on season. So he's one of my picks there.
How much is Edison? Probably 5.5, no?
5.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
But based on last year's points, if you guys can see here, right? These are the top 5 goalkeepers for last season in terms of points. These are the points. And David Raya was number 1.
Okay.
So just to go back to our earlier conversation, do you see why?
Yeah.
Facts.
Right? Followed by Alisson, what I just said, he always gets you a clean sheet, you know? And last year was a 2 demos.
Sorry, just to cut you off there. And I think that also feeds, or maybe because maybe it's just anecdotal. No, but Jose says that it feeds into my theory around making a mid-table keeper, because I mean Brentford were a mid-table team, Wolves kind of a mid-table team. So yeah, I think that is.
Oh,
No.
and another perspective, guys, we need to check as well, guys. Also, the run of fixtures that your players are versing in there, maybe first 5 matches. So I went with Pope initially, but I had a look at Newcastle's first 5 games.
Yeah.
Tough game for them. So yeah, that was another angle that I used, sorry, in choosing my players, like the run of at least in the first 10 matches, what are the run of games that they have.
Okay. Cool. But I think it feeds back to what Ntogo said. With goalkeepers, you need to have that mid-table goalkeeper in there. It's so evident. Yeah. Because Jose Sa, man, we all know what he does for Wolves. That guy's a brilliant keeper for Wolves. I still don't understand why no big team actually went for him.
Mentality.
Yeah.
Remember, he's the same guy who told Kevin De Bruyne in the tunnel, "Take it easy on me" on live TV. Dog, like you can't do that. You can't do that.
Okay. Comes to defenders, guys. I have a strategy when it comes to defenders, right?
Okay.
I think if you look at the defenders that I chose, only 2 are real center backs.
Otman and Gray, whatever.
Yeah.
However you pronounce his name.
The reason for that, I need wing backs. Wing backs usually get you more points because they're able to assist or to score free kicks.
Trippier is a perfect choice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one.
That's my learning from last season. I chose based on balance and clean sheets.
Yeah.
Right. For center backs are, clean sheets I employ, but with wing backs, they gave you opportunity for clean sheets and assists. So very, very well done.
Yeah. So if we look at the top defenders here, if you go on the right, for last season, which is strange. We obviously have Trippier.
Hey, Trent is expensive.
We have Trent, which I don't understand how he even got. Okay, well, maybe it's because he's a wing back. That helps a lot.
You see what I mean about Gabriel? So underrated. Look how cheap he is.
Yeah, Gabriel.
Underrated.
This is a good one. Maybe I should swap up something for Gabriel.
Trippier is a wild card, right? You know that he'll get your free kick goals, your assists.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised he's top.
Yeah, because he takes corners as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Trippier definitely a great choice. I think Gabriel is a great choice as well. I think Botman is also a fantastic choice because, like I said, Newcastle have the best defense, really, defensive record. So
Hmm.
yeah,
When you
yeah,
see reviews, it's also one of those, like when you see people that do FPL reviews, they like he's one of the in their top 10, like it's dark horse players or players that you ignore. Botman is like it's featuring a lot there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trent's probably not worth 8, nah.
Yeah, nah. I'm not spending that 8 on
Yeah,
him.
that's gonna chow your budget for a
And anyway,
defender.
he's gonna move to the midfield, actually. I'm still not spending that 8. Not
But hey,
happening.
with Trent, you guaranteed at least 10 assists, the season.
That's
Will
true.
he be able to make that from a midfield? We'll see. Because he's going to be playing a new role. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, my midfielders, guys. There's a strategy when it comes to midfielders on FPL.
Goal
Yeah.
scorers.
Yeah, there's certain wingers that can play in the midfield. Like you don't have to select them as attackers if you want more points. So for
Rashford is cheating.
exactly, Rashford cheats. Saka can also play here. Martinelli can also play in the midfield. I don't know how FPL
Yeah, that's cheating.
did this.
That's
It's cheating
Mm.
because it basically means you're playing with 6 real attackers.
Mm.
Yeah.
And as we know, goals matter when it comes to FPL
Mm.
or assists. So
Yeah.
in my case, obviously, I went with the other guy because he's a creator and he also scores.
Mm.
I went with this guy, right? And I'll tell he's my wild card.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah. He's my
Buemo.
wild card because
Yeah, I also want to Mbemo.
yeah, he's my wild card, and I'll tell you why, Ndogo, right? And everyone else. Last season, when Ivan Toney didn't play certain games or was injured,
Mm.
this guy started stepping up out of nowhere.
Facts.
He started banging goals, creating goals, and I was like, who is this guy? He's not even a fancy player. And now that Ivan Toney is out for a while because of his ban, this guy is definitely going to step up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, good one. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Then I went with McAllister because honestly, I believe this guy might be the next big thing for Liverpool in particular.
Mm.
He bangs goals occasionally. He's a creator of goals, and he might be the midfield maestro that needed. That's why I went with him. And obviously, for £6, that's relatively cheap.
Yeah, good price.
Foden, I went with him because Mahrez will be out. So he's going to be starting a lot more games. I just need him not to be injured.
Mm.
Then I went with Rashford for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no, Rashford. I'd say the ones that I agree with on your selection here is Rashford and Odegaard. I don't know what other options. I see Salah there. Just scroll down a little bit. Let me see the top midfielders when I see.
Okay, top midfielders for last season, we have Salah at 5, sure.
Yeah, I would get Martinelli for 8. I would get Martinelli personally.
8 is quite,
You
it's
know
quite
what?
decent.
You know what? To your point of midfielders, right? There was also alludes to one of your points that you made, like picking like um top prospects from top teams.
Mm.
With De Bruyne, we know it gives at least double figures in assists, right? So it's like a quick, easy win. But also, earlier on we said like, hey, it could be he's aging, so we're not sure if he's gonna actually give us a full season, right? So
Mm.
there's a risk there, and it's very expensive, right? It's like 10.5.
Mm.
So would you rather like go for guaranteed assists? And with those factors we've mentioned, right? So he's another conundrum of a player. Like I swapped him out 3 times, but like and then I just decided, you know what? It's too
Do you know who
risky.
I would rather have? And obviously, this is in the FPL world, not in real life, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a Bruno Fernandes than a De Bruyne because this is like the stupid thing about stats. Like, you don't have to fucking thread the ball through the eye of a needle, like kind of an assist. You can just pass a guy and then he runs 30 yards and scores a goal, it's still the same assist.
True.
So, and like Bruno and Rashford just have that understanding. Like, I see Bruno racking up quite a few assists for Rashford, where Rashford pretty much does most of the work. And Bruno's on some corners, set pieces. Yeah, personally, I would go for Bruno over De Bruyne in
Bruyne.
Fantasy Premier League Worlds. Yeah, that would be my top tip. Trossard is a good shot, but he's not a guaranteed starter. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the
Look,
problem.
Eze, man. Eze, there's something here, guys. I
Yeah,
think he's a good choice to have as a sub, if you want to keep him
something.
mid-table. And then Almirion, we know he had a purple patch. I don't know if he'll be replicating it this season.
Yeah, I doubt. I highly doubt. Decent
This
player,
guy,
but I doubt.
Busan needs
Mr.
to pick
Purple
up form.
Patch. That's the real Purple Patch guy.
Yeah,
This
this guy.
is me,
Overpriced, nine.
Overpriced at 9. Overpriced.
Because this is basically saying Son is more reliable than Martinelli for goals. I don't know, eh? Sure if I agree.
Yeah. Maybe he's done it over a couple of seasons. Remember, Martinelli literally only became a starter or a regular last season. So maybe it's based also on prior history.
Yeah, no fair.
Okay. My forwards, guys, I had to.
Obvious. Obvious. That one doesn't need
I had
explanation.
to.
Haaland and
And
Kane
Guys,
don't need explanation.
but earlier on when you guys mentioned that the second season syndrome, hey, I also have it in there, but I'm like, hey, that's also a thing, but and EPL with injuries and some sixth sense of mine is like saying, look, hey, we may not get the Haaland we need to offside. Hey, it's expensive. You could have better money to spend on like
How much is Kane?
Let's check. That's
If he
it. We're still
stays, yeah.
12.5.
Tony. There's not much to pick from for forwards.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
You
the
have to
thing is,
choose Haaland. You have to.
yeah, hey, but like
And
I guess
sorry,
you can play more with assist kings in
how
the
much is
midfield.
Thingy? How much is Nkuku for Chelsea?
But it's injured, and that's the problem.
Who?
Who's injured?
'Nkuku's injured.
7.5.
7.5. I
Well,
would say that's a shout. If he's not injured, I think that's a decent shout. If he's even a forward, because FPL is weird. I don't know.
yeah, FPL is weird. So I went with Haaland, and of course, he's my captain.
Naturally.
And we all know what that does for your points as well. So
Yeah.
that's another tip. And then I'll always have my captain and vice captain as the attackers. So I previously had Gabriel Jesus here, but now that he's injured, I had to find a replacement, and there's not much to work with. So I went with Isak. And the reason why I went with Isak, it's his second season. I think Newcastle is becoming more integrated as a team. So I'm hoping to see the best of him. So I'm also gambling here. Then I went with this guy, Wisa, because Ivan Tony's not there. Also, attackers on FPL are so whack, and I didn't have money by this point. So it's definitely gonna be on the bench.
My nigga, you've got £5 left there. Are you saying we
I've
can't
got
find
0.5.
Oh yeah, sorry, 0.5. So we've got 6.5 that you could spend. Are you saying you can't find better for 6.5?
Honestly, I'd rather save. I know who I want to replace, right? But I don't want to call that. It's someone here. There's someone here who's gonna go, and I think it's,
Bissaka.
of course. So
Because he's not gonna play much this season, I can assure.
yeah, so I need him out.
I would replace one Bissaka with Dan Burn personally. Oh, but no, you've already got 3 Newcastle players. Okay, you
Got
can't.
3 Newcastle players. That's the problem.
Hey, guys, what about the stupid man?
No, I have them, bro. I have them, bro.
What about thingy?
I have
Who's-
it.
What about
Cash.
the
What about Cash?
Japanese guy? The Japanese guy from
Mitoma.
Brighton. Mitoma.
Mitoma.
Yeah, I've got Mitoma. What about Cash from Aston Villa?
He's
Bentley
also
Cash.
a good pick.
Hey, I'm
Cash is a good
surprised.
pick.
Yeah, I'm
Cash
surprised
is
you
a
don't have.
good
Any,
pick.
I'm surprised you don't have any Aston Villa players. Actually, you know.
I have Cash.
Watkins. How much is Watkins?
Watkins is
£8.
£8.
I guess decent.
Don't
If
know
he has
I-
like 7, that would be good.
Where's Cat? You know what? I'm gonna swap up. I'm gonna put in Mitoma, bro. Somebody gotta go here.
How much is Mitoma?
6.5.
6.5.
6.5. Oh,
That's
that's
a good deal.
price. Yeah.
That is a good deal. Question is,
Personally, I would take out Foden.
nah,
for
I'm
Mitoma.
not.
Okay, what is he? Firstly,
Let me
is he,
check.
is he under midfield or forward?
Let me check.
Mitoma,
Yeah,
midfield.
he's under midfield.
Let
Because
me
as good
see.
as Foden is in the fantasy Premier League world, he won't get you much points because Foden doesn't really get a lot of assists and he doesn't score a lot of goals.
But that's
why.
because he wasn't playing. That's my thing.
It could still be the same. Eh? It could be.
Who would be replacing him?
What do you? Oh, another steal, guys, in defense is James.
How
Reece,
much?
5.5.
Reece James.
I'm taking Reece James. I'm sorry. I'm putting
If
in
he-
Reece James.
If he's injury free,
Is he fit?
he's becoming very injury prone. That guy. That's the issue.
Is he fit, Debo?
Yeah, he's fit.
I'm taking him now. I'm not even laughing. Reece James in.
Because Ross James gives you assist.
Man,
Got
5.5.
a lot, man.
5.5.
Dude, replace Foden with Mitoma. Trust me.
How much is Foden?
7.5 and
Yeah,
Mitoma.
Why
Mitoma
is
6.5.
why is still
Okay.
playing Mitoma?
Guys, you'll see. Foden's gonna be more important this season.
No,
but it's
yes,
fine.
that's why I keep emphasizing FPL world.
Yeah,
in the
it's
FPL
fine.
world.
So
Makes more sense.
he's
You guys think
6.5.
of Madison. Madison at Tottenham.
How much is
In-
medicine?
7.5.
I'm not willing to spend that kind of money. 7.5.
Because Madison is an assist king, eh? And a goal king.
I think that's a good shout, you know.
But who do I get out of here?
My nigga, play with one striker. Haaland will get you all the goals you need. I think
I can't risk it.
I think
can't
you
risk
can
it.
afford to get 2 very cheap strikers and then get 1 super striker, which is Haaland, and then you've got a lot of goal scoring midfielders. That's where your goals will come from.
Sacrifice who's this guy? Isak.
Yeah.
Guys, I have a good feeling. Yeah. I have a very good feeling. I don't know why. I'm not sacrificing this guy.
Okay,
So you've
no.
got Udegaard and Rashford.
Yeah. I'm trying to get maximum points, bro. I'm not even laughing.
That's what I'm saying. Madison, I think, is a good shout. Madison,
Nah, bro.
listen, Madison, Rashford, Haaland, and Odegaard. I think the 4 of them get a lot of goals. Even Mitoma, I think. Obviously, he won't get a lot, but he'll get maybe a lot of assists. I think between those 4 or 5 players, you can get a lot of points.
Wait, defense, you have Trippier.
Yes, and
Yeah.
plus, and Trippier is there defensively, and James. And James is there.
Trippier, Newcastle have a very tough start. I had Trippier in. I'd sacrifice Trippier.
Who are they playing first 3 games?
So I'll tell you now.
Should we just scroll down to the fixtures there?
Newcastle are playing Aston Villa, bro.
Yeah, that's a game that day.
Nah, guys, Newcastle's gonna win, bro.
They will, but that's a proper game.
So they
Yeah.
play. So they play Man City, Liverpool,
Hmm?
Brighton, and Brentford in their first 5 matches.
Yeah, that's a rough start, eh?
Let's see.
Aston Villa's their only would be winnable game. But they're playing Man City, Liverpool, Brighton, and they're playing Man City away. They're playing Liverpool at home. They're playing Brighton away. They're playing Brentford. It's a tough start, eh?
Jums, Arsenal start with Nottingham at the Emirates. I think we get a few goals there. Odegaard, I think, is decent. I think Martinelli might need to come in somewhere. But Fede, this is your team. Sorry.
Hey guys, this is my team. Leave my team alone. I know why I'm keeping this team.
We're giving you something to think about. Eh?
No,
Because
I like my team, bro. My team is gonna do the job, guys. Trust me. This is my starting 11. It's going to do the job. I'm just worried about this too for now, but they're going to do the job.
okay, can I share my team?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Hey,
can
I
share.
can't share my screen, so
Why can't you?
I'm using my mobile.
You played yourself.
But I'll just call it out.
Okay.
Defense, Pickford, Edison.
Pickford, okay. How much are they?
Pickford is 4.5. Edison is 5.5.
They're not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then defense, Saliba, Cash, Estupinan, James, and Botman.
Okay.
Midfield, Guemo, Mitoma, Rashford, Bruno Guimaraes, Edison.
Why would you go Bruno? Guimaraes.
Pardon?
Bruno won't give you points, bro.
Bruno Guimaraes.
You won't. Don't think about FPL as real soccer.
This is what I'm saying. Think about FPL world, Baba.
He won't give you points.
It's a different strategy.
But it's been last season he's up on assists and goals, eh?
You can. How much is he?
6.
For that price, I
Okay,
guess.
then that's the right price. For that price, cool.
Yeah, because I sacrificed them because my attack I have Watkins, Gakpo, and Haaland.
Are you gonna use all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. Then yeah.
Yeah, so my starting 11 will have all 3 of them. Then midfield I'll have Mitoma, Rashford, and Madison.
Okay, I think that's solid from an FPL world.
Yeah. But you've given me something to think about. Rather in Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, bro, you have to cover Haaland having a bad game, which means he scored 1 goal. So that needs to come from your midfield.
Yeah, no, that's true. Facts. Ntogo?
I haven't created my FPL. I'm trying to do it now. I don't know if we've got enough time where you guys will watch me create it, but if not, that's fine. We can do it another time. But I haven't created it yet.
Okay.
Still need to do it.
You can share your screen.
All right.
But I think the pressure right now, you need to apply your mind. Eh?
Okay, fine. You'll create it. Yeah, it's
No,
fine.
but fortunately, like having seen your guys' things, I've got ideas in my head. Let me just share. My thing is a bit slow.
You'll remember me, guys. Isak is scoring. You'll remember my conversation there. He just has the markings of a Premier League player. Just give him time.
No, he's good. Hey, what? Hey, you see now. You can tell I haven't been on this thing in a long time.
Yeah.
Cause
No, you'll share with us in the next one.
yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
gonna
let's
take
go.
it's gonna take too long, guys.
Okay, gents. I think we had long session, productive.
Yeah.
Hope viewers will enjoy our FPL picks, the debates that we've had. Now, yeah, let's enjoy the weekend and good luck to Arsenal and Man City on the Community Shield. I don't know why I'm even saying good night.
I'm about to say good luck, Arsenal only.
Good luck, Arsenal only. They need that luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck, guys.
Nah,
Peace.
thanks, gents. Have a good one.
Sharp.